It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Wednesday, July 10th. We have made it. We are at the top of the hump. We are all humping our way through the weekend, at least. I hope you are. You know who really is? It's those on Love Island. We'll get into that later. Welcome to the show. I see so many of you already in the chat. And it reminds me, I haven't really spoken to you Texan folk. I hope you guys are doing okay with all the hurricane craziness. Hurricane Beryl barreled its way through Texas. So I'm glad to see that a lot of you guys are back. Power is hopefully restored. We don't have any sort of hurricane here. We have Hurricane Bethany. Is that still approaching? Or has that passed? Not really sure. We're going to have a lot of fun today. Welcome to all of you guys. Quick reminder, tonight, 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern time will be our members only of our second members only here on YouTube. And I've got like a whole host of things I want to talk about. We're going to talk about the Lindsay Hubbard pregnancy boyfriend drama behind the scenes, the BTSs of it. We're going to talk about Violet Affleck because, man, oh man, I woke up to see all those clips of Violet. That's Ben and Jen's daughter, Ben Affleck, Jen Garner's daughter, speaking to Congress. I don't know who she was speaking to specifically, but here in Los Angeles about reinstating a mask mandate. Lots of interesting feelings about that one. And then we're going to also get into some Jeff Lewis drama. Yes, we're going to talk about the Jeff Lewis, Joey Zauzig stuff. I just want to do like a little recap for all of you guys that have missed it because I'm getting a lot of DMs asking if I know anything about it. And as you guys know, it's hit or miss if I listen to Jeff Lewis lately. So I'm caught up. I'm catching up. I'm getting all the information. We're going to talk about all that later today on Members Only. If you don't know how to join the YouTube Members Only feed, the link is in the show notes. Click on that, join. You can join live or join in the play. I was going to say recap, but that's definitely not it. Replay. We'll talk all about that today, later on Members Only. For today on Daily Dose of Donna, we've got a host of things, another grab bag of topics, another literal, well, not really, but like pretend you have a bag of chips. These are the best chips. By the way, this is not sponsored. They're Chico, I believe is the brand. Chicas. Lime chips. I'm telling you, they've got such a good little salty, limey kick. It's like a grab bag of topics this week on Daily Dose of Donna. I can't wait to get into it with you guys. Welcome to the show. All righty. I hope everyone's having a lovely day. Where are you guys watching from? What's going on in your neck of the woods? It is another hot one here in Los Angeles. It is so hot. Yesterday, we kind of just like stayed inside all day. You know, those days where it's just so hot that you don't even want to go out and play or be outside. I do have a pool that I don't even need to heat, which is so nice. That's the one positive of it being so hot. We don't even have to heat it. But I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a insight on having a pool. Now, those of you guys that have a pool, you may know this. If you don't have a pool, keep this in mind. When we didn't have a pool, before we moved to the house that we're in right now, all my kids wanted was a pool. All I wanted was a pool. I thought to myself, like the pool is the answer to boredom. You're bored, you go in the pool. You have a play date, you go in the pool. You want to relax, you go in the pool. You want to cool up, you go in the pool. Let me tell you something. We've used this pool, trust me. But it doesn't answer all your problems. It really doesn't. And then sometimes, if you're lucky and you get your kids in that pool, guess what happens? There's a lot of fighting. Ah, splash me. Oh, he's not throwing me the ball. That's my raft. The pool does not answer problems. It's not what you think it's going to be. I still love it, but it's not the answer to your problems. I'm just going to put it out there. What is the answer to your problems? Consider therapy, because this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring Daily Dose of Donna. Let's talk about the fact that in these days, just like I mentioned right now about the pool, I remember when I didn't have a pool, I used to compare myself to all those my friends that had these pools. And comparison is truly the thief of joy, because instead of just being like, okay, well, I get to have more grass, I would say, well, I don't have a pool. And it's easy to envy other people's lives. It might look like they have it all together on the gram or on the talk, but in reality, they probably don't. Not probably, they do not have it all together. Trust me. Therapy can help you focus on what you want instead of what others have so you can start living your best life. Stop comparing and start focusing. Consider BetterHelp, because you can do it in the privacy of your own home. You don't even have to leave your house. If you're having heat issues, if there's hurricane situations, all you need is an internet connection. All you need is an internet connection and or a phone even. And you can do it all from the comfort of your own home. Stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Donna. That's DANA today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Donna, DANA. You know how my name is spelled DANA, but pronounced like DONNA. And this is something that really upsets people. I don't really get why it would upset a person, but people are surprising. Okay. People get upset over very, very small things. It should really just upset me, because it is annoying. And I've told this story many times. I don't know if I've told it on Patreon or where, that when I used to be in casting, we would have these things called breakdowns, which are character breakdowns. Casting departments would put them out for all the agents and managers to then submit their actors and their talent and call and pitch. And my name would always be on the casting breakdown. And when I was an assistant, I was working for my lovely boss, Greg Orson. We were working on a show. I think at this time we were working on Reba. We were working on a show called Rocky Point, which was, oh my God, it was so good. It was a I think it only lasted like 6 episodes, but we shot it in Hawaii, which was really fun. But anyway, so my name was on the breakdown as the casting associate. And because my name is spelled DANA, every single day, multiple times a day, someone would call an agent and be like, "Hi, is Dana there? Hi, is Dana there?" And my boss got so sick of it for me having to say my name is Donna that he made me put on the breakdown DANA and then in quotation marks DONNA and then my maiden name, because it was before I was married. And let me tell you, people used to call me and say, "Dana Donna. Hi, is Dana Donna there? Hi, is Dana." I mean, it didn't fix the problem. But now I go to my workouts and my trainer at my workout on the mic always says, "Dana Donna, Dana Donna. What are you doing, Dana Donna?" So it's stuck. So call me Dana Donna. Why I was saying that, I couldn't tell you. Oh, I went to McDonald's for a cookie tote. I posted about this in my Instagram stories. Guys, you need to do this. This is an insider hack. Are you ready? Do you have a McDonald's in your hood? If you don't, where do you live? Because I'm curious, because I feel like everyone does. You go to the drive-through. All right. You go to the drive-through. When you're asking for something, ask for a cookie tote. Yep, a cookie tote. Guess what a cookie tote is? It's a cardboard tote of 13 freshly baked McDonald's cookies. And these cookies are unlike anything you've ever tried. They are heaven in your mouth. Like you have literally died and gone to heaven when you have one of these cookies. So note to self, get yourself a McFlurry and a cookie tote. Cool off at McDonald's. And of course, the Diet Coke, because there's no better Diet Coke. I went to McDonald's the other day, and when I went around, I did it on the mobile app. And when I went around, everyone said, "Donna, is it for Donna? Is it Donna? Donna?" And Oliver, my son, who was in the car, was like, "Mom, they're all calling you Donna." And I was like, this has never happened before. Normally they all say Dana. They got it. They know. Maybe they're daily dosers. All right, let's get into the stories of the day. Don't worry, we will talk Love Island. We'll get into all of that in just a momentito. Before that, let's talk about some other stuff that's happening. You guys, OC is starting tomorrow night. And trust me, these OC peeps are ready to go. And by ready to go, I mean they're pulling out all the stops. They're doing the press tour. Heather Dubrow was on Extra, and she was talking about um how she and Gina have a little bit of a falling out, which is interesting. Heather Dubrow and Gina became kind of close on Heather Dubrow's return season, but you couldn't get two more opposite people in their lifestyles and their lives. Like Gina's a lot younger. Gina lives in the casita, right? And Heather Dubrow is like a multimillionaire older woman with, adult kids pretty much. Like it was a little bit of a strange friendship, but they did connect. But apparently Heather and Gina have some drama this season. And Heather was saying that Gina prioritized or like didn't act towards a certain friendship in the way she wanted to. And I have a feeling that Emily and Heather don't get along because we've seen some like telltale signs of that in the trailer. And Gina probably chose Emily. But the question really is Shannan. And we need to know about Shannan. This is not Shannan's best season. Okay. We know that already. I was listening to just the beginning. I didn't finish it, but I was listening to the beginning episode of her on Jeff Lewis from Friday, I want to say, of last week. And she was talking about how she's not looking forward to this season necessarily. It was a really tough season for her. We know this because the episode opens up talking about the DUI. It shows her bloody face. We see her talking to her kids about it. I mean, humiliating for her. Also very important for her to go through those feelings so that she hopefully, learns from her massive mistake. But Shannan and Tamra have a really, really tough season. Okay. We know this. We know they don't get along. We know Tres Amigas is no longer. By the way, I listened to Vicky's new podcast. Vicky Gunvalson, we didn't cover this last week, but Vicky and I want to say like influencer Bravo creator Christian Grey Snow created a podcast together, and it's called My Friend, My Soulmate, My Podcast. It's with Christian Grey Snow and Vicky Gunvalson. And I think they've only had one episode. Let me see. They had a trailer and then they had their first episode. And the first episode was called The OG Takes Omaha and the Things Even Christian Didn't Know About Vicky. And I started to listen to it. I didn't finish it because it's very hard to listen to between us. I like Vicky as like a character, and Christian seems really great too. But Vicky's voice is like she has no voice in the episode. She's sick or something, and it's really hard to listen to for me. Like I wish they would have just waited a couple of days to record it. But in this episode, obviously, she talks about the falling out between Tamra. She talks about the fact that Tamra was really awful to Shannan over the season. And she talks about the fact that, the Tres Amigas broke up. And obviously, you're either going to be, you're going to be either Team Tamra or Team Shannan and Vicky on this. I think it's possible to be a little bit of both. I don't necessarily love a lot of Tamra's decisions and Tamra's actions. I do think sometimes they come off a little bit feisty, immature, all of that. But I also really can't stand for Shannan. Like, I just can't. I find a lot of problems there too. Thank you, Elizabeth, for becoming a member. You'll be able to join members only today. Can't wait to see you there. Okay, so that being said, they're all starting their press tour and they're starting to really drudge at the drama. But Queens of Bravo, which is an Instagram page, posted a story that Tamra posted this morning, and it's starting already, all the drama. So let's watch this together and see how this really works, because get ready. Get ready for an entire season of this kind of drama.
Right now, and I'm dying laughing because Shannon Bedore was scrolling through old text messages trying to find receipts between the two of us and accidentally liked a message, and then unliked it. So, she don't want me to see it, I guess. But girl, get those receipts for Watch What Happens Live. Go get those receipts. Those old 2-year-old text messages, I hope they work for you. I am getting my makeup.
Ah, Tamra. Tamra, Tamra, Tamra. Tamra! What do you guys think about that? Do you guys feel like Tamra is being a little immature? Do you feel like she is having fun with it? Do you think that we need this kind of drama because this is literally like what dreams are made of? We need this kind of a, push for the show. I think that it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. I worry for Shannan. I do. This is why. Shannan is already like there are some people who can take the heat. Like who's someone on these housewife shows or in these Bravo shows who can really take it? Honestly, Lindsay Hubbard is the first that comes to mind. Lindsay can take it and take it and take it. Who else? Erica, Jane. Erica's someone that I feel like can take it, take it, take it. There's very few housewives that I feel can honestly take it with a grain of salt and just like, okay, you want to be a bitch to me? You can be a bitch to me and like get over it the next day. Shannan is at the bottom of that list. Shannan falls apart. And I really, truly worry how she's going to handle not only just rewatching the season. I mean, she managed through the season already, but how she's going to rewatch this season and then go through all this like bullying on the side. And I like Tamara a lot, but that was pretty low to go on your Instagram stories and make kind of comments like that. It just is a little bit tricky. Before I forget, Anna's asking where was the link to Members Live? Can't find it. I haven't scheduled it. You'll see it in your upcoming live videos when I post it. So make sure your notifications are on. It will be on my channel. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so Michelle says, look, Tamra does what she does, and she's the one that started the concept of housewives coming in for each other. Did you go to Bass Lake? Did you go to Bass Lake? I will never forget that Tamra brought a level. I don't know if this is something you should be proud of or not, that she brought a level of nastiness and attacks into the Housewives universe. And there's a reason that she was so popular and the show blew up after she did. Had the show, had OC stayed at the level that it was in season 1, it just wouldn't have done it. It wouldn't have done it. We would have all been bored. The show would have been canceled. Let's be real. If the biggest drama was whether or not Joe was going to stay with Slade, it just wasn't going to stay. But we were honestly, this is what made Housewives the Housewives. And I'm sure someone else would have done it down the line on another series. But Tamara really normalized the idea of like receipts, calling people out, screenshots, all of those things. Mark says, remember Tamara's Christian phase. LOL. Yeah. Remember when she did the baptism? I'll never forget that. She was supposed to be like a good person. Now, I do believe Tamra actually is a good person. I've met her and talked to her, over DM. I've met a lot of people that know her in person. Obviously, I do actually think she's a good person and a nice person, but I think she knows exactly what is needed for Tamra on the show. Listen, she got fired or she got put on pause and then she got brought back in. And the truth is she needs to she's not getting fired again. She's like, you're going to need me on the show. And OC did get better when she came back. Sorry. Okay. I just do believe that. So 24 hours, a little over 20, maybe like 36 hours, and we will all be up to speed on OC. I'm so excited. I am really excited, and I hope it completely scratches that Bravo itch. I told Tamara, I said, insert this into the veins. I want an IV drip of Real Housewives of OC. And allegedly, Andy Cohen said this season is amazing, but he also said that the last few episodes of VPR were amazing and they just weren't, right? A lot of you guys, by the way, agreed with my idea of Rachel coming back to VPR to bring it back. This wasn't on my list of stories, but did you know that Katie Maloney is on her way to Fiji to visit Ariana, obviously? A lot of people were like, get Katie on Love Island as a side host or as a guest host. And I am begging you, please don't. Please do not put Katie Maloney on Love Island. I want Love Island to be Love Island. I don't want it to be VPR Island. I don't. Please don't. Ariana being there is enough. We don't need Katie Maloney on Love Island. That will be too much for me. However, like Love Island's so good on its own. It doesn't even need Ariana. I'm glad Ariana is the bridge. It brought me in. Ariana's the reason I'm here, but I'm staying because of the island, right? Like Ariana was the plane that got me to the island, but the plane has now departed or can depart, and I'm staying. Like I've decided to stay. Now, if anything, Katie Maloney's probably trying to find herself a man. Maybe she'll find herself like, I bet like Miguel would end up being like, oh, Katie, I'm into your crazy, your attitude, your lips. Okay, next story. Let's talk about let's do a Lindsay Hubbard moment, a Lindsay and Carl moment, Summer House. Well, as you know, Lindsay is trying to respect the privacy of her boyfriend, who we all know who he is. Everyone knows who he is. Now, there's some drama there. Okay, uh, I just want to say there's been some drama behind the scenes. We've talked about this, but I believe that she's maybe, how do I put it this? Maybe she's a little out of pocket to believe that the privacy of her boyfriend, who she's having a baby with, who she's talked about, who she posted a picture with, even though she covered his face. Like, you're on something if you think no one's going to be interested in finding out his identity, etc. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. Well, she says she's very much in love and she defends his right to privacy, according to page 6. Even though Bravo sleuths unearthed her unknown beau's identity, Bravo and Cocktails is an Instagram account stated via their story that they would not post any information about him until the Summer House started, which would make it fair game. Lindsay then shared it on her own story and said her boyfriend's privacy is not about us being proud of each other or not. She said, he is beyond proud to be my boyfriend and father of my child, and vice versa. We are very much in love and have a beautiful relationship. This is about his work, his privacy, and the fact that it is not his job to be public like me. She also mentions on this Instagram post when she posts it, she says, thank you, Bravo and Cocktails, and any other fan account that has respected my boyfriend's privacy. This is not about us. Okay. And then she goes on. I would like to say that I believe I first found out about her pregnancy, I want to say through that account, that she's saying thank you so much. Just saying. Just saying. But honestly, the truth is that we all are going to obviously want to know. She didn't even have to say she had a boyfriend. She could have just said, I have a baby coming. But you put it out there that you have a boyfriend. Obviously, people are going to want to know. Like, uh, I just don't see how this works. Like, on the same token, Carl Radke was spotted on page 6. It is announced that Carl was spotted with this mystery brunette. Now, this is an interesting little situation because you can't see the girl's face in any of the pictures. So I don't know if this was like a setup or something, but in both pictures that we have of Carl and this mystery brunette, one of them is them walking through a hallway. We only see the back of her hair, and we see Carl's face looking to the side. And the next is them sitting at some sort of a bar, but the photo is taken with Carl's face in the frame, and then of course her hair is covering her face. Why do I completely think this is fake? If number one, if she was really a girl that he had a date with, and this was like a serious, oh my God, there's Carl with a girl, the photographers would do anything they could to get a picture of the girl's face. Let's be real. But a page 6 spy saw the Summer House star an unidentified female companion at the Everdeen bar at Virgin Hotels, New York City, Tuesday evening. The casually dressed duo looked cozy in conversation while seated at the bar. I'm of course like zooming in, trying to see if we can find pictures of, do you guys want to see the article? If we could see pictures of the girls, what she's drinking, but I wasn't able to see it. I wasn't able to see it. Let me see if I can get the article up really fast here. Look, at the end of the day, I'm happy for him if he's doing that. We know he has not kissed one person since they broke up at the reunion, which was like 2 months ago. I think they shot the reunion in May, June, July. Yeah, 2 months ago. He had not shared one kiss with anyone since he broke up with Lindsay. So this is the first picture. You very clearly can see Carl on both these pictures, and you can't see the girl. If you're really a spy, wouldn't you go out of your way to just walk your body to this section, like just to the right, to see the girl's face? And you're saying that when she stood up and walked away, you didn't get a picture of her face? This is one of his besties or a publicist or someone that's trying to kind of rewrite the narrative. Carl's unbothered by Lindsay's pregnancy. I mean, maybe that's the case. I don't know. Good for Carl. If this is really a date, good for him. I have not seen Carl have game, I think, since like season 3 of Summer House. He didn't even have game with Lindsay. Let's be real. By the way, I want everyone to know that Mark Ward wants everyone to know, for the record, he has not shared one kiss since Carl and Lindsay broke up either, in solidarity. So, if you're wondering if us Bravo fans take these things seriously, we do. We do. Okay. I did see a TikTok the other day and I was dying over this because it was this beautiful couple that were getting married, gorgeous couple getting married. And apparently she did not kiss him for the 3 years. She didn't even want to kiss him until the wedding day. This beautiful couple, they finally get said, I do. And then he's like, I've been waiting 3 years for this. And then he goes in for the kiss. Can you imagine? Yes, I'll marry you, but I won't kiss you. What if that man's mouth is a jackhammer? You know what I mean? What if his tongue is like, what are you going to do? What do you do then? Fine. If you want to hold off and not sleep with someone before marriage, that's your own choice, whatever. The kissing is unreal. Like, what did you guys do when you were cuddling at night? Like heavy petting? Did you just tickle backs? They're like, we didn't kiss, but we sure as hell effed. Wait, maybe that's what they did. Maybe they didn't kiss, but they like effed like bunnies for 3 years, but they didn't kiss. Maybe it was like a Julia Roberts, Richard Gere Pretty Woman thing where she's like, we don't kiss. Or did he not kiss? Now that I'm thinking about it, the more I think about Pretty Woman, was it Richard Gere that didn't kiss or was it Julia Roberts that didn't kiss? My gut says it was Julia Roberts. And by the way, here's a little side note about Pretty Woman. Remember that part when they're like the first night when he picks her up and she's back at the Reach Bev Will and she's like getting down on her knees to, have fun. And okay, Julia didn't kiss. And all of a sudden, like she pulled out all the condoms and she was like, I got red, I got blue, I got something like it's been a couple of years since I watched it, but I remember she had all these like colorful condoms. Do you guys remember this part? Legit, when I was watching that movie at 9 years old in the theater multiple times. I saw Pretty Woman in the theaters multiple times at 9 or 10 years old. I legit thought it was candy. Like I didn't get it. No one told me and I didn't ask. I thought she had bubble gum in those packs. I didn't get that they were condoms. That's why I think we're being too tough on our kids about like, you can't watch it. It goes over their heads. They have no idea what they're watching half the time. I was probably watching, like porn and had no idea. I was like, oh, look at them wrestling. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yes, Michelle says they probably soaked like the Mormons. Speaking of the Mormons, I watched a YouTube the other day, and I have so much to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about it later. About this woman who used to be a Mormon who has a YouTube channel, and she went on a whole tangent about why so many Mormon women are influencers on TikTok and Instagram and everything, and why they're all so like successful. The majority of influencers, like in the Utah world, they're all Mormons, right? It's fascinating. And then I remember that there was supposed to be a documentary that's coming out about Mormonism, like Hulu, a documentary about like girls that are influencers in the Mormon space, like Mormon swingers. Do they also not kiss? Do the Mormon swingers kiss? This is what I want to know. Yeah, the Morgan mom drama was amazing. The Taylor, what was her name? Taylor Gray? Something like that. Now I can't remember her name. It was so good. Okay. All right, let's move on. Today is a random ass show. It's a good show. It's a Wednesday. It's a hump day. It's a hump day. Do you think that couple humped? Do you think that Carl Radke humped his mystery brunette? We'll see. All right, let's move on. Yesterday, I mentioned that there was a sad update to the America's Sweethearts Dallas Cowboys cheerleader story and Victoria. And then I never talked about it. And shout out to my doser Judy, who DM'd me, and she's like, I watched your show 2 times looking for the story and I never saw it. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that I forgot to talk about it. So let's talk about it today. Victoria, have you watched I keep wanting to say Making the Team. Have you watched America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys cheerleader documentary? It's docuseries, 8 episodes or so. It was so good. Really a good show. I would watch it. Some people walked away feeling really like, oh, that was so fun. And some people walked away feeling pretty depressed about the show because it does cover some pretty kind of sad topics in the sense that these women are not paid well. It's a lot of work. And then there's a lot of heartache that goes into being a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. Number one, you're comparing yourself to all these other women. You have to re-audition every single season. So like, you could be on the team and then get cut. You're getting cut through the audition process. A lot of people are going through it, right? So that being said, a lot of people struggled watching this series. I enjoyed it. But Victoria was one of the main girls on the show. They kind of focused on, I would say, like 4 or 5 girls. And we followed them around a lot and kind of walked through the story with them. One of them was this girl, Victoria. And I found her story to be really, really sad. She was a legacy cheerleader, meaning her mom was also a cheerleader. And she was cheering with Kelly, who is like the director of the entire organization. And when Victoria first auditioned to be part of the team, she was on Making the Team, the last reality show, and she wasn't she got cut before the beginning of season. So she didn't make the team the first time she tried, and then she came back and she did make the team. She has had a tough run. Okay. She struggled with depression. She has struggled with eating disorders. She has struggled with making friends, anxiety. And she even took a year off in between to kind of travel and do her own thing. And she was the happiest she had ever been, apparently, when she took a year off. But then she came back to the team. She really wanted to finish out her 4th and 5th years as a cheerleader on the team. You can do 5 years. So she comes back to the team on the season and she has to re-audition. But there was something so sad about her story because you could really tell that she had this codependent relationship with her mom. I don't know if you guys saw that, but like it was wild. Like she had a very I mean, her mom was her best friend, and I'm not against that, but there's something kind of sad about a 24-year-old girl who doesn't seem to have many other friends except your mom. And her mom, I think, was living kind of vicariously through her daughter, as a lot of people do when, their dream is over and they want someone else to kind of do it too. The saddest moment was when it was her 23rd, 24th birthday party or birthday. And her parents, I mean, she didn't have a party and she didn't have any friends over. It was just her and her mom and they got like 500 balloons and a huge ass cake, which is weird just because it was just the two of them. And they like did TikToks and stuff. And it was just sad to watch. But anyway, she really struggled throughout the season. She didn't get picked as a team leader. She didn't make a lot of friends. No one was very kind to her. No one was very accepting of her. And then she was just recently on Kate Kennedy's podcast, and that's called Be There in 5. And on this podcast, she was talking to Kate. Kate asked her a specific question. I want you guys to watch it. Kate asked her a question about her relationship with the rest of the people from the team. And remember, she said Kelly, who's the director of the the team, who she's like the head of the team, she and this girl, Victoria's mom, were very close. They used to cheer together. So Victoria considers Kelly, or at least on the show, she considered Kelly her second mother. She said she was the second person that held her after her own mom. And so now she's like auditioning for her second mom. She even admits in the show that she's scared of the heads of the team. She's scared of Kelly and the other woman, which is just strange considering that she is like mom to her. They had a very, very odd relationship. But this is what Kate asked her on her podcast. You can listen to the entire podcast on Kate Kennedy's podcast, but listen to it here. This one piece that made me sad.
Go further. What is your like current status with your relationship with Kelly? Are you guys still close? Do you feel comfortable having candid conversations?
Since the show, I have not heard from anyone.
So like even today's show, you did an interview, but you just sat there with them?
I didn't get invited to the Today Show.
Oh, you didn't? So you haven't seen them or talked to them since the show came out?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Victoria, it's so weird because you're like the star of it. Before I go further, what is your like current status?
Okay. So when she's talking about the Today Show, what she's talking about is just recently, I think 2 weeks ago, the team and Kelly, the head of the team, were invited onto the Today Show. And it was a bunch of the newer cheerleaders that they focused on, Reese and a couple of the younger ones, but also, strangely enough, was Kelsey. Kelsey is someone who had retired from the team. She did 5 years. She was a big star of the show, but she did 5 years and then she retired from the team. She had to give back her uniform at the end of the last football season. And here we are watching Kelsey on the Today Show back in uniform doing the dances. So it's not that they didn't invite any sitting cheerleaders. They invited people that had been walking, that had left already the team, but they didn't invite Victoria back. And Victoria was really one of the stars of the show. Like they spent a lot of time on this show on Victoria and her journey. That broke my heart, number one. And that wasn't a Today Show decision. That was not a Today Show decision. That was a Kelly decision because the Today Show said, or maybe it was a Netflix decision. I don't know. But they basically said, I want you to come back and, bring the stars of the show. And Kelly probably chose not to bring Victoria. Then Victoria says she hasn't heard from anyone since the show. She didn't hear from anyone of the team. She didn't hear from Kelly. That's so fucked up. Does anyone else feel that way? Now, Michelle says Victoria's mom is the real villain. This is interesting. Clearly, she was infantilized by her mom, and her mom groomed her in this whole cheerleading lifestyle. And it's actually so freaking true. This girl was raised knowing that she needed to be a cheerleader to make her mom proud. She said that multiple times throughout the show. She said, like, I need to do this to make mom proud. And then that makes me think to myself, like, you think that you're doing something good for your kids when you are having them kind of like follow in your footsteps, right? A lot of athletes do this with their kids. I just saw a picture the other day of like 3 really big football players whose 3 sons individually each just got committed to an NFL team. And in some cases, the kids are more than happy to follow in their parents' footsteps because this is a a pure love of theirs. But I wonder if Victoria really loved the cheerleading, or she just loved the idea of making her mom happy. So sad. Really sad. Anyway, that was that story. All right, really quickly, because we just want to cover it before we get into Love Island, and I haven't had a chance. Let's talk for a quick second about Phaedra. A story came out yesterday that Phaedra Parks is returning to Real Housewives of Atlanta, or negotiating. I should say she's negotiating her return to Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I need to know from you guys if you feel like this is something that you'd want to see or not interested. Obviously, Phaedra used to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but she got let go when she was involved in that big scheme with the candy and the let me see how they kind of word it specifically here. But she was fired over her own sex scandal. This is per Page 6. She admitted during the season 9 reunion that she had spread a rumor that then co-star Candy Burruss wanted to drug and rape Williams, Portia, which is, she ended up getting fired for that. Now, that being said, she was just on the Traders last season and did phenomenal. And by like 100%, no question, she was the star of that show. The star of that show. She didn't end up winning, but she was the star of the Traders. And then, of course, she was on, wasn't she on a Ultimate Girls Trip recently? And she was so good on it. And then she was on the Watch What Happens Live 15th anniversary special with Portia, and she was so adorable on it. And it just makes me think that, Bravo is probably warming up to the idea of bringing her back. They've now seen her do a couple things and be completely respectable and not worry them in terms of maybe some wild behavior. They probably felt that they had to let her go over that experience, but maybe it's not enough of a reason for her to be fireable for life. So listen, if Real Housewives of Atlanta has any chance of coming back after Kenya Moore walked away from the show, and when I say coming back, I mean coming back and actually doing well, I think they need a Phaedra. They need an OG. They need someone like for real, for real. Oh, she's on Married to Medicine. That's right. She's on Married to Medicine. I totally forgot about that. You guys, I never watched it. I tried so hard. I tried to get into season 1, but it was so long ago. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It feels like I'm watching a show from 1983 when you watch Real House, Married to Med season 1. It really feels like a 1983 show, and I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. You guys have a lot of opinions about Phaedra. Some people love her and some people don't. So we'll see. Will it make you watch the show? That's the question. Are we ready to get into Love Island? We have to. This is the story this is really, because last night was movie night. Did you guys watch movie night? Love Island continues to blow us away. And I'm going to say something so unpopular. Are you ready? I'm going to say something that is not going to be popular. I can't stand Kayla right now. I can't stand Aaron either. But if I have to hear Kayla scream cry one more time, I'm going to jump myself off the Love Island. I can't handle it, you guys. Cannot. Like, Aaron, fuck, why do you do that? I mean, is anyone else feeling like it's the same cry every time she talks to Aaron? But Aaron, I just don't understand. It's so wild. Just speak. And if you want to cry, that's fine. But why do you have to yell every time you talk to him? And the truth is, no matter what, she's going to get back together with him. Like, literally, this man could take another girl and insert his nether region into her nether region in front of Kayla and be like, I love you, Kayla. And she'll be like, oh, fuck, Aaron, why'd you have to do that? But I love you too. It is so wild. She's driving me crazy. Okay, you guys, some of you guys feel it too. It's a lot. And I feel for her because I get it. But also she's making me want to, I can't. Like, grow up. I'm sorry, this is Love Island. Did you think that this was going to be like a romantic like getaway between you and your boyfriend. Like it's love. This is what this is. It is so crazy. Couple things to mention on movie night. Like we had a bunch of different scenes happen before movie night, but movie night really was the crux of it and the way it worked. And this is my first season ever watching the show, so I had no idea. But the way it works is that you've got a guys group and you got the girls group, and they're all sitting there together. And they have to answer these silly quiz questions like how many women fake orgasms. It was so ridiculous. And the second person that or that like if the guys get the answer right, they get to choose which of the 12 movie names that are on the screen they pick. And each movie name is connected to a clip. So for example, The Devil in the Blue Overalls or something was about Rob. Like there's these stories. And the truth is that I don't have, you know, we haven't seen all the clips yet. And I'm sure some of the clips will be worse than others. But the first couple clips that we see were, of course, we see we see Aaron do this like handshake with Daniela when he was over at Casa Amor. And they did the exact same handshake that he had done with Kaylor and created with Kaylor. It's so gross. It's so ridiculous. Then he also had said to Danielle, or Daniela, I want to take a shower with you, which he had also said to Kaylor. It's like he has two things that he can do to these girls. But what's so upsetting is before movie night, and this was the moment where I was like, I hate you. She's upset at him for the about 9th time in the last 2 days. Aaron, okay, she's so mad at him. And in this moment, she's having this conversation. She's literally crying. She's so mad. And right when she's about to just like yell at him, he says, I'm just going to say it. I love you. Oh my God. Did anyone else see right through this? This was like, you know what he was doing? This was like his last, what do they call it? Like last resort moment. This was like his final dying breath. I'm going to lose her if I don't get her back. And this was my way. I love you. I'm just going to say it, Kayla. I love you. And she's like, oh my God, Father, no, I love you too. It was wild to see in real life. Like every time a man tells you he loves you because you're in a fight, if he says, I love you for the first time when you're mad at him, it's a bad sign. It's a bad sign. Okay. And a lot of people do this. They do it because they panic. And I can speak firsthand that I had issues with my boyfriend. Okay. This is before Lance. I had issues with my boyfriend and we were going through a really hard time. And I was feeling really guilty about something. So you know what I did? I asked him if he wanted to move in with me. Not a joke. This was when I was like, 22 years old, 23 years old. People do things when they're in trouble or when they're about to like create, like it is 100% a last ditch effort. Thank you. His Hail Mary. Oh, Kayla, I love you. I can't believe I said it. Fuck. Ryan. Oh, fuck. I mean, it is too much, you guys. These two can sail off into the sea. Now, she's mad at him. He says, I love you. He gets her back momentarily because movie night is around the corner. Now, before movie night starts, actually, let's talk for a second about Kendall and Nicole. Kendall and Nicole have been together now for a while. They both decided to stay loyal to each other, even during the Casa Amor Villa situation. And I actually think it's pretty cute. Okay. I think it's pretty cute. But Kendall drives me mad. And if I was ever hooking up with a guy named Kendall, not named Kendall, a guy that acted like Kendall, I would maybe get such an ick. They get this like opportunity to go into the hideaway. What is the hideaway? It's literally through a door and it's like its own setup. It's this gorgeous part of the villa where they have their own private room. They have a jacuzzi. They have a bottle of champagne, all these sex toys. It was a lot. Okay. Kendall gets the opportunity to go with Nicole. And there's something about the way his mouth is. Maybe he doesn't have an upper lip. But he like, I've never been so happy. This is the most amazing thing of my life. I'm just so excited. I mean, look at the stunner. Look at her in her lingerie. I've never been so happy. I am going to get laid tonight. He gives me the ick. I thought he was so cute. I like his personality. And then something about him in the last couple of episodes have given me the ick. And apparently everyone else feels the same way because he is the worst, like, fake guy you've ever seen. He tells every single person exactly what they want to hear, including all the girls on the island, right? He tells or in the villa. He's like, "Oh yeah, man, I have your back. Like with that guy, don't worry, you can come to me for a hug." And meanwhile, he goes to the other girl that the guy is with and says, "Like, yeah, he likes you." He is made. I think Kendall's the worst. I think Kendall's the worst. Hey, Kendall. He's like, "I've never been so excited because I am going to have sex with this lady." There's something going on. Okay. Who else should we talk about? Janae and Kenny. Okay. This conversation drove me crazy they were in soul ties. And she's like, "I just have never really felt this way about anyone." And he's like, "I like you." And she goes, "I like you and he goes, "And I need you." And she's like, "And oh my God, I've just been wanting you to tell me that forever." I know why Janae keeps taking the L's. Like the girl is thirsty. Very, very thirsty. Now, Serena has finally decided she's going to take back Cordell. I'm happy about it, but at the same time, like, why did we need all that stomping away the day before? Serena, remember I told you she got 30,000 steps on her Fitbit in the 30 seconds of her walking back and forth in that villa. She was so mad at him, so mad, back and forth, back and forth. And now she's like, "Okay, Cordell, I guess I'll do it." So now she and Cordell are pretty much together. Cordell has already told Daya. He goes to Daya. I always want to say Daya. He goes to Daya. And Daya's already moved on. By the way, Daya changed her hair completely between like Monday and Tuesday. And in last night's episode, I noticed she had this beautiful natural hair. It's gorgeous. I don't know who did it for her. I don't know how easy it was for her to go from the straight curls to the natural hair. It was so beautiful. But there was a whole scene where she was talking to Kendall in the kitchen and they weren't filming her face. And I really, truly, for 5 minutes, had no idea who he was talking to. I was like, "Who is that?" Now, Daya is actually my favorite because she decides to end things with Cordell before he even does. She's like, "He gives me the ick. Oh, I'm not taking him. I don't want him. I don't want anything to do with him." And then she goes over to Serena and she's like, "That guy's a snake. Just you wait. Just you wait. He's a snake." Like Daya's kind of a baller. I'm a fan of Daya. She's like, "I've moved on." Back to movie night. Okay, after we've decided that, we've had sex, and all the guys are jumping up and down, and all the girls are jumping up and down. I've never seen anything like it. It was wild. Movie night happens, so we see the Aaron and Daniela handshake and the shower conversation. Fuck, Aaron. Aaron. She's tapping her eyes. Like, as if like there's a robot in there, like, "Press your eyes, you will not cry. Press your eyes, you will not cry." She taps those eyes like it's her job. I worry about the oil factor under her eyes. So then, a couple of the other clips that we saw the clip. You guys, maybe it's toxic. I am team Leah all the way. I really like Leah. I don't know why. She makes me laugh. She makes me happy, but she goes back and forth because she gets to see the scene that her friend Liv kind of throws her under the bus from earlier with Rob. And this is where I got pissed. I got pissed like Tamra. Okay. I got pissed because somehow the producers and the editors of Love Island came straight off VPR. And I know this because on VPR, they were all about giving Sandoval a good edit. And on, what's it called? On Love Island, they're all about giving Rob Overall Man a good edit. Let's talk about this moment. A few weeks ago, Rob and Leah were adorable. You remember that? Like week 1 of Love Island, so adorable. Then Andrea comes in and Rob quickly goes to Andrea. He started hooking up with Andrea. Leah was devastated over it. and they had a fire pit recoupling, and Rob, in front of Leah, picks Andrea. And that was the episode where Leah was like, fuck you, fuck you. She was so mad. She was so hurt. And right after that, they go into the bathroom, all the girls, and Leah's pissed and she's hurt and she's humiliated. And she's like, this fucking bitch, Rob. What a P, what a B. He cried in front of me. It's not about, and she was like going on and on and on about that, right? Understandably, because she was just broken up with. She was just, she's hurt. And when they see that clip at movie night, she, like, it was the craziest thing. Rob was like, I can't believe that you would talk about me that way. I can't believe that you would say those things about me. And Leah was like, I know. I am so sorry. I can't believe it. And everyone was like, poor Rob, including Aaron. I can't believe you would talk to him that way. He had just opened up and showed him his feelings. Come here, Rob. Rob, sit on my lap. Let me play with your pee-pee. I think Aaron has a secret crush on Rob. I don't understand. Did I miss something here? Rob should have been like, I get it. You were mad at me. It's all good. Instead, he's like, now I see your true colors. I can never trust you again. No, I can't trust you, Rob. You're the one that left her. Did anyone else feel this way? Did anyone else feel like we were watching something that like we weren't, like it wasn't computing? It was not computing. Yeah. Michelle says also, I too would be yelling and calling him a B after he gaslit me while trying to excuse his choosing another girl and telling her he wasn't that sexually into her. And then he cried. Exactly. He was like, Leah, I'm sorry. I'm just like not that into you. And it's just so hard for me. And she's like, you're a little B. Makes completely the sense. Like it makes sense. And meanwhile, Leah's like, I feel so bad. What? Rob should feel bad. Anyway, that was pretty much how movie night ended. We saw a couple other things, but nothing crazy of note. But don't you worry. Next episode, we're going to see a lot more. And I'm telling you, this Aaron and Kayla, I think Aaron and Kayla need to break up just so I don't have to hear her say, fuck, Aaron. Liv is interesting. A lot of you guys have questions about Liv. So I think Liv is absolutely beautiful and she's really, really a good friend to her girls. But I can see why the guys are not into her. And I know this is going to sound awful. She's not warm. And maybe that is something that I'm like struggling with. I don't feel she's like a warm person. I don't feel like she gives those men that like warm, flirty, friendly, loving vibe. For some reason, I just feel like men don't really know how to handle that. Like they're scared of her. They're almost intimidated by her because she's just like blunt. She tells it what it is. Honestly, it's giving Bethany. But like a nice, like the good version of Bethany, like the witty, on her shit. But it will be interesting to see, what. She's not soft. Hug me tighter. She's not soft, but she needs to hug harder. Okay. But she needs to be softer. Where are Liv? Okay. Liv and Carl will end up together. Leah's going to end up with Tom Sandoval. And Rob is going to end up with Brittany Cartwright. With the overalls, Rob is going to end up in Kentucky with Brittany. It's going to be Rob and Brittany Take Kentucky Part 2. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so interesting. So we don't have Love Island tonight. I'm so sorry. How will we survive? Well, we'll survive with the members only. We do have $1 Million Listing LA will be on tonight. I'm continuing to watch Owning Manhattan. I will cover that. And so much more. There's going to be so much to talk about. So we will continue to follow up with all of this stuff. And I will see you guys tomorrow on Daily Dose of Donna. Bye, you guys.